nice.
Hi, everybody.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I have a crown. It says, it's my birthday.
It's my son's birthday.
How awesome.
Hi, Deb.
Yeah.
Nice
Oops,
to
I
see
shared.
you. Hey, Mary Brevin.
Hey, Cori, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cori.
Thank you, Natasha. Oh, Samantha.
Happy birthday.
Hi, Susan and Pam and Donna and Joan and Rose. Hi, Rose. Lemke.
Hi.
She's a
Happy
Minnesota.
birthday.
Thank you. I'm feeling older. I've had a very, very hectic morning. It's been a little crazy. My daughter Kiley is here with me, but
Hi,
she
Kiley.
sent me a message yesterday that said, Mom, I'm going to come at 11 because then we were going to go to Taco John's, right? That's my favorite. I love tacos. And I went out for the weekend on Saturday night for my birthday, and my parents came.
Oh,
Wow.
My mom and dad drove up from South Dakota, and oh look, I think I'm going to get Amber on here.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe what my surprise is.
Oh my God.
Real life.
Hi,
Oh
Amber.
boy.
See that this girl, and I showed up for lunch at 12:30, and my other dear friend from across the Twin Cities walked into the restaurant.
Oh,
Wow.
3 favorite people in the whole world in
Mm.
my presence.
What a great birthday present.
Yeah.
Without my knowledge, to show up at my house at 11 this morning. And my daughter walked in the front door and I said, I'm sending some charts to my tech editor. Just a minute. She's like, that's fine. And we walked in and I looked out the window and I saw Amber walking up my driveway. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And I'm just feeling so blessed. We went to lunch. We had the best lunch. And then we stopped and picked up nothing bundt cakes, which any of you who live in Minneapolis will know. So we have a whole variety pack of bundt cakes to have during the little time that we're here together. And I'm feeling super flustered and completely out of sorts because I had none of it planned.
Mm. That's okay. Ooh.
those look good.
Oh, yummy.
Oh, yum.
Oh, we have one of those in Des Moines.
Flavors, oh my gosh, they're my favorite, but I try not to get them very often or eat them. So Kiley said, Mom, you have to drive over to that strip mall across after we left the restaurant, the one across the street from the mall, and pull in by the Jimmy John's. And I was like, I think I know where we're going. I think I know what's in that parking lot. Yeah, I'm gonna go in and get a sandwich, she said. And then she went into the bundt cake place and brought out bundt cake. So that was super fun. Deb, you're wearing your nice capade sweater. Look at that.
I am.
That. Oh,
That's how I first heard of Cori Eichelberger, was making this sweater.
Oh,
Mm.
And for your birthday, I put on the,
I decided to come. They all want to see you.
No, I've got a lot going on right now because my son's getting ready to graduate, and because of COVID, everything got canceled in the fall. So they're shoving everything at our high school into the last 8 weeks of school. And so Cori and I were talking about getting together and we were trying to find a weekend that works. So the weekend she suggested was my son's graduation. And then we can't do that weekend because it's prom, and I can't do that weekend because he has a football game, and Heidi has this and that. And then I just dawned on me that we don't have to do a weekend. We can do a Monday through Friday as long as I get back before their stuff happens. So then it was gonna be your birthday. So I'm like, oh, I've got this. I can do this now. So yeah.
And then she was gonna call my husband, text my husband, call my husband.
Well, because I don't know how people feel. Like, okay, now you have a house guest, uninvited. And so I didn't really want to do that. I knew Cori would be fine with it. I knew Ross would be fine with that. And so I texted last week, her parents were gonna go, they came and they wanted it to be a surprise and Ross told. And so I'm like, okay, no, I'm not telling Ross because he'll tell. And so I told Kylie and Kylie's like, yes, please come. That will be perfect. And then we left Ross up. So they didn't let Ross spill the secret, stayed intact, yes.
Well, because I tried to do that with the grandparents, but then he went and told her.
He wanted he thought I would like the anticipation of knowing more than having them just show up on Friday afternoon. And I was super busy. I was having a crazy day. So it was kind of nice knowing what time they were going to arrive so that I could be home. But yeah, Kylie was bummed and my mom was bummed that Ross had spilled the beans and said, you know, your parents are coming for the weekend for your birthday. And so, yeah, so then I would have been bummed if it wouldn't have been a surprise. That's the whole, that was so I drove up late last night and stayed in a hotel 15, 20 minutes away and then just showed up on our doorstep and Ross came down because he's working upstairs. He came down and I'm like, surprise, you have a house guest. he was great about it. So no issue. Yeah, he is working today and he had said to me this morning, okay, I placed the grocery delivery order. And because I ordered all the things yesterday, but then my parents were here and whatever. And I said, I don't want to cook tomorrow and I don't want to pick up the groceries or bring them home or have them delivered or whatever, right? Like that. You can do it whenever you want. It's in there, check out and pick a time. And so then he said, I did the grocery delivery and everything, but maybe we should just go out for supper. And I was like, if you don't want to cook, because I don't want to cook, it's my birthday. So I didn't know I was going out for lunch to somewhere nice. We went to a nice place for lunch. And so we, that was super fun. And Amber's going to stay for a couple days, which it filled my cup up with joy that, she literally got in the car and drove that far. And we really were not sure when we could get together, when it was going to happen and how we were going to get together until all of her spring stuff was over. And I wasn't going to show up on her doorstep for her son's graduation or football game or whatever. So it was super fun. And I saw Terry is here and Emily is here. Hi, Emily, you made it.
Hi, yep, I'm in the office, so don't tell anybody I'm not working.
I promise. We won't say anything.
You're on a very important business call.
That's right.
Right, that's exactly
The
it.
screen will look busy.
Yep, I will vouch for that.
So I was kind of planning the Zoom or the Instagram live for me to have something after tacos to come home to, and then I'd be able to see Amber and talk to Amber and have her make me laugh on my birthday. And so then Kylie prepared a couple of questions for Amber and I to answer. So we thought we would try to do something that would be a little more than just me blathering on and on and on. Plus we'll also have our buntlets and we have to pick what flavor we want because Kylie got so many flavors.
Do you want to do a question?
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
Can everybody hear me? I'm kind of a little far back. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So the first question is, what person would you want to play you in a movie version of your life?
Vicki Lawrence. Vicki Lawrence for me. She's like from Mama's Family. No, she was on the Carol Burnett show with Tim Conway. Oh, yes. Yes. Lawrence. She'd have to wear a wig. But she's loud like me, and I like her a lot. She's funny. Yeah, no, Vicki Lawrence. But honestly, I feel like she could really just be her Mama's Family character, and it would just be me when I'm older. I was thinking, like, who's the most curvaceous, beautiful, beautiful person that could rock myself, but
Angelina Jolie.
the person that I used to get when people knew me back in the day, when people would say that I reminded them of someone, and a couple of you have heard this before or have commented that I'm reminded of Sally Fields.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Say, the whole.
I can see that.
Oh, I see it.
So that's what I was talking about.
So you don't think Sofia Vergara?
Yeah, part of me is like, if I'm gonna be in a movie, I should be a size 2, right? Like that's right. Okay. So if you were a spice, what spice would you be and why? Oh. Okay, I wanted to say red pepper flakes.
Well, I was going along.
Hot and sassy.
I was going along with, or I should be something like, what is one that people either love or they really don't?
Oh, like cilantro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either your cup of tea or I'm not.
Or you
right?
taste
So-
like soap.
Right. And so
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe anise.
That thing with beets, it tastes like dirt, or they don't taste like dirt, or cilantro tastes like soap, or it tastes
Yeah.
like herb.
yes, I would be a cilantro.
Julie thinks that cilantro tastes like soap. We had lunch with my dear friend Julie, who I lived with for my first 2 years of teaching in Edgerton, Minnesota, which is a tiny town down in the southwest corner of the state. And we got to our first day of teaching out of college. We were both super nervous. We were sitting in the elementary school library on those tiny little chairs in the elementary school library. They had the first year teachers sitting on these little chairs. And I said, hi, I'm Cori. I moved here from Sioux Falls. And she said, hi, I'm Julie. I moved here from Iowa. And I said, where are you living? And she said, I couldn't find anywhere to live. And I said, yeah, because I think I got the last apartment in town. And she goes, you did? And she said, I had to move into a trailer. I'm living in a really dumpy trailer on the edge of town and I have mice. She says, I have mice. And I said, I know you don't know me, but do you want to move in? I have 2 bedrooms in this apartment. And she said, yeah, maybe. I think so. I do. We're both the same age. And so the principal got his pickup truck and moved us up the street to the apartment building, moved her in because I had taken, there was only 8 plex of apartments in town, just one, and it was full and it was really hard to find anywhere to live. And so then we lived together for the next 2 years and she was in my wedding and yeah, so we are dear friends and she now lives on the north side of the Twin Cities. So if anybody's from Minnesota, she lives in Elk River, up in Elk River. So it's a trek to see one another, but we can get together. And she retired from teaching last spring, the spring before the pandemic, and she had been a mother goose. So Julie was a mother goose at the hospital. So she rocked babies at the hospital. She would go in and hold babies, and she was a mother goose. And then they found out she was retiring and that she had a degree in special education and elementary ed. And so they hired her. So she's a child and family coordinator, and she provides games and activities for the sick children while they're in the hospital. She plays games with them and does activities with them and, all that kind of thing that isn't nothing nursing related. Hi, Marsha.
Happy birthday.
So I'm seeing more people. Hi, Julie Beardiness. I know you too. And Linda and Mary and Natasha's here. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so amazing.
Just in case we see.
Can you
You're loved all over, Cori.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Oh, Stacy's here. Hey, Stace. Stace is my sample knitter and my dear friend from Tennessee. And Brandy's here and she's a test knitter. Hey, Stace. Are you not supposed to be on? Are you hiding, Stacy?
Me?
Yes.
No, I started while I was still at school. So then I drove home with you. And that's why my video was off. And I'm about to have to take Joshua to an orthodontist appointment. So I'm about to turn off my video and microphone again. But happy birthday!
Well, at least you know how to use your camera. I read an article. Did you just read that one that there was I think maybe was it the UK? No, it was Canada because Justin Trudeau was there. There was a Canadian parliamentarian who thought his camera was off and he came into his office. This just happened the other day. He had gone for a run and he got
completely nude to change his clothes in his office. Completely. A person said, you know, Mr. Prime Minister, can we please remind our people that we have dress codes?
That is awful.
Just
Just awful.
Hello, Cori, and greetings to Amber. This is Cheryl Lacemaker.
Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl's in Canada.
Yes.
What a great last name.
Lacemaker is my Ravelry handle.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, it would have been a great last name.
That's how Cori knows me.
Yes, that's how I know her.
Happy birthday, Cori. It's Dingle Kringle.
Oh, I told the little red jumps, the little red pajama underwear, and then I called them Dingle Kringle, and that's not what they were called. I made a huge mistake on the podcast too. Just forgive me, you guys. Like, my mouth is moving, but my brain is not always engaged. And I was reading off that the summer flies had 110,000 projects, and it doesn't. It doesn't. That's the yards that people used or something, and I totally screwed it up.
Nobody cares.
Everybody got in touch very nicely and just said, just so you know, you read the wrong thing. I was like, okay, I'll fix it when I come on next time. But that is so like me. To have my mouth keep moving before the brain knows.
Oh, I do that all the time. I use the wrong words all the time. We'll never forget when I thought that ethereal was urethral.
Oh.
I said it too, Stacy. I said
you did.
Oh, urethral, and I didn't even pause because I knew exactly what I meant. And she's like, I don't think we're using the right word.
I think Jenny was there too, and we both just died laughing because we were like, "That's totally not the right thing."
The word that you think it is. Okay, do you have another question?
Well, there's also, do you remember, Stacey, you and I were in Murfreesboro, Tennessee at the Fiber Borough, and I sniffed a sausage, I sniffed a soap, and it was supposed to smell like patchouli, and I sniffed it, and I said, oh, that doesn't smell like patchouli, and so Stacey immediately picks it up and sniffs it, and then she looks at me and goes, what do you think patchouli is? And I said, sausage, and she said,
Andouille.
Sausage soap.
They made a soap that smelled like meat, and I wanted to sniff it, right? Like, not only did I sniff it, but I wanted to see it.
That is why I have Amber in my life. Amber and Kiley make me laugh all day, every day. Do you guys want to see the button that Kiley got me for my birthday?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. If you are easily offended, don't be offended. You can. That's badass. Do what you love. You melody. We fear that you are a badass. So I'm gonna set it by my desk when I'm working, and then I can just do "you are a badass" on days when I'm feeling really down.
Yeah, it's your motivator.
There we go.
Okay, so the next question.
Cori,
oh, go ahead.
So Cori, in honor of your birthday, I rearranged my knitting room to be your podcast setup.
Oh,
so,
yes,
Good idea.
so it's the best I could do, but I think I nailed it. Nailed it.
oh look. Oh, she has the mannequins. Oh, that.
Have the mannequins up. And
Sure that.
the only homily type setup that I have is things from my laundry room.
But I love it. That's fantastic. Funny.
You guys, yeah, this is.
I'm kind of hoping that the people from Criminal Minds are not watching.
That'd be a good one for the line.
Yep.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so the next question is, in the United States, you can be sworn into the presidency on any book of your choosing. What knitting book would you want to be sworn in on?
Oh.
Great question.
Oh.
Thank you.
Knitting without tears.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be a religion. Everybody does the Bible.
Elizabeth Zimmerman's Knitting Without Tears.
It's the one I've used the most over the years, has been the fiber and fleece source book. The one that's got the sheep on the front that tells you about all the different kinds of wool. Because since I was a new knitter and I didn't have someone like Cori near me that I could ask, that's the one I always refer to see if the yarns would work for my projects, because it explains all the properties of all the different wools. And so I used that before I was a spinner, something fiber and fleece source book or something.
Okay, and now that you're the president, who do you choose as your vice president?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, you
yeah.
can't pick each other. Come on.
Oh,
And you, I need a good lawyer because I'll get my mouth in trouble.
Yeah, okay.
I need a good lawyer.
you can pick me.
Yep, I could.
Oh, I don't know who I would pick. Someone smart and diplomatic. Rick.
That's not me.
Oh, it doesn't have to be a knitter? No, you can pick anybody. Oh, yeah. Well, the name would be RJ, not Rick, because RJ or Rick, then he could still be the first gentleman, right?
Yes.
I would have to pick
Yeah,
RJ.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one. Okay, and what is your favorite weird holiday?
Was Husband Appreciation Day, and I didn't know. And I am always very appreciative, but not verbal about it. But my mom and I went shopping. I took her 2 places. She needed a new purse and she wanted to look for glasses. And she wanted a treat. And we were driving in the kind of the uptown area, if you're familiar. And I could not think of where to get a treat. And she goes, well, there's a gas station. You can just stop and get a treat at the, and I was like, I don't want to stop at the gas station to get a treat. And I remembered that Willette's Bakery is right off of 50th in France. So we drove to Willette's and we went in and we got cupcakes. And then my mom, who loves her husband more than anything in the world and raised me with that love in my life, right? Like they love each other so hard. And she said, well, I'm going to bring one home for your dad. She ordered it with hers. Like it was just automatic that she would bring him a treat from the bakery. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess I probably better get Ross something too, right? And I knew he wouldn't want like a cake or something. So then we came home and my phone had something on it that said it was Husband Appreciation. So then we acted as if we knew that it was Husband Appreciation. We gave them treats. But I think the day that celebrates chocolate is probably the one that I like the most. And not Valentine's, but chocolate lovers day or chocolate chip cookie day. Or
I don't know what mine is from just from me, but if I'm on social media, my favorite is always the rescue pets ones, because everybody posts their pictures of their rescue pets.
That's a good one.
That is very good.
There you go.
Okay, if you were a piece of furniture, what piece of furniture would you be and why?
King size bed.
Yep.
Recliner, 100%.
Because I feel like, okay, so king size bed, takes up a fairly large footprint, right? So let's just be there. Quarantine hasn't been kind to me. Then, in addition to that, it is the piece of furniture that once I'm going to be anyway, whatever. I think people like me once they spend time with me. And so I think that once you've been in a king size bed, okay, not to say you have to be a neat, no, but once you've been,
I love it.
Once you've had a king size bed, then you that's something you always have to have in your life. You can't not have a king size bed.
Especially when you've got 2 or 3 dogs sleeping with you.
Okay, Linda, I was going to call you out just a minute ago and say I love your cat. So
oh, thank you. This is Kiki. Zoom meetings are her favorite thing. And for those of you who are lucky enough to have noticed, she gives a great butt shot without fail every single time.
She needs a blanket.
She has one. I made her the Casapinka, whatever that thing was that along.
Yes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
Cori has a blanket pattern called the Baby Kiki.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Linda is the Virginia knitter that hired me to do their Virginia Knitters Guild a month ago.
Yeah, in January.
A practice Zoom. So
Gotcha.
She has a room, a knitting
studio.
Right, like a huge. And she took me for a tour. And that's one of the reasons that I was like, oh, I need to turn my upstairs.
Yeah, well, I was trying to inspire you.
Yes, yeah. Because although we have it in every room, we decided to Zoom on the big computer because we knew we were going to be wider than in my dining room, and then trying to set that up really quick. So we just and we didn't get home until 7 minutes before we needed to be on here. So
all right, well, Cori,
we're just kind of crowded in here, but that's okay.
Yeah, I have some enhancements that we need to talk about, and I think Amber would be interested also. That maybe we can set up something later in the week. It's a way to organize your stash, and it's fantastic.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Sure, Linda.
I'll send you an email.
Okay, so I was king size bed, you were recliner. Why? Why were you a recliner?
Well, because I just feel like my rear end fits.
No, it's not about what you like the best. It's about what spiritually,
I would provide comfort.
Okay, see, that's good.
And I like to make people feel good about themselves and about where they're at. And
you lift people up,
and I hug people, and I lift up their legs. Would you be one of those recliners that moved up and like sits the people where they stand? Oh, so they can stand up. A lifting recliner. That's me.
There you go.
My personal piece of furniture is a lifting, which I may need sometime soon, actually, to get me up out of the chair. But
okay, the next question is, what inexpensive knitting gadget changed your life, or you would buy like 100 times over again?
Oh, I know. And she has it.
I have mine with me. Well, of course you have it. It's your inexpensive go-to gadget. You have to have it with you. If you're knitting.
I don't know if will you change me to the other page? Yeah, so I can see it. I don't know if they still sell it or not. But on Knit Picks, and I used to buy Knit Picks a lot because I still love their stuff. I just have a lot now, so I don't order from them as often. Anytime I would order, I would add one of these to my cart. It's a keychain, and it has the 2 different sized crochet hooks on the edge. And so it's got itty bitty little one for socks, which I don't know if it actually says what they are. Oh, yeah, it's a 2.0, so it's slightly less than a 1. Yep. And then a 3.5. So was that a 5? Yep. So it's got size 1 and size 5. And so anytime I drop anything, I've always got that one. But then also, they also sell the one without the keychain, which has a, I don't know, what is that? Maybe a size 4 on it. But then also it has just the point, and that's how I pick out when I'm adding afterthought heels, and I snip my yarn. And so yeah, I have one of these 2 things in every single Notion pouch. I use this 20 all the time, the straight one. I grab it out of, I have it in my stitch marker tray by my chair, and I say yes, I use that.
He's eating Linda's.
Kiki likes it.
Sure. So that was mine, because the very first thing that I dropped a stitch on when I was knitting, I cried because I didn't know how to pick. Again, I taught myself how to knit. Someone showed me how to do the knit stitch, and then that was all I had. And so I had to learn everything myself, and I didn't know how to fix a stitch, and I was knitting a scarf, and it dropped down, it fell down, and I cried the whole time as I was trying to get it and couldn't, and I tore it out. And I was making it for my sister-in-law, who I don't really like anyway, so so lost. She'll never see this, and if she does, she'll be like, same. So it's okay. So yes, but I threw the scarf away because I couldn't fix it. And then when I found that, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is
from the same woman who doesn't want to rip back a sock because 3 rows too short.
I just told that, hey Stacy, do you remember when we were sitting at ZK and I knit my sock 3 rows too short and was willing to give it away?
And I was mortified, and I offered to fix it for you, and you said, no, it's okay.
I'll just give it away.
Knit the other sock and then give it away.
Yeah, because I hate to pull back. Yeah. So you can imagine how hard I was crying during that. I watched my knitting just falling further and further, and I threw the whole thing away. And then just recently made that into charity hats because I wasn't going to use it again, right? It had terrible mojo in it because it was the scarf that didn't want to be a scarf. Okay, what's yours?
I'm gonna say square wooden needles because they're not expensive and they changed my, before that, I always use bamboo because that's what I learned on, right? So I have the old bamboo, I got hundreds hanging over there. And those are from the first 20 years of my knitting, right? And then I started switching over to, you know, the different kinds of circulars, and I tried signature and all. But now when I have a square needle that I can start the project with, I just go, okay, like I don't have to think, am I going to use metal? Am I going to try to use that? Are these going to be too, the square just make, yeah, it just made my knitting life easier. I don't fuss about my needles anymore, and they just make me happy. And I don't know that they're great for everyone. They really help me.
I don't know any of these.
Do the square needles, is your gauge tighter with square needles? I heard that sometimes it is.
No, I have, you know how they say a singer has perfect pitch? You have perfect pitch. No, I never have to go up or down. I mean by that. Like if it calls for a 6, I can usually try a 6 and I can almost always get gauge. Or if it calls for an 8 or 7, like I don't usually have to go up or down. And with these, the square needles, I have not had to change that either. Although I can see where it might change other people's. I just was going through so much hand stuff when I was just struggling with finding needles that would work for me for all projects all the time and would make me happy and would have the right point and all that. And then I found those and it just seemed to settle in for me. Now I've almost completely switched over to wooden. I don't like the metal squares at all. You haven't shared any of these. Is this just supposed to be about us?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can share.
Okay.
Well, what's your piece of furniture? Because you don't have to be the knitting one. If I were a piece of furniture, I would be one of those like velour half couches that has like the armrest on one side and then kind of goes flat that you like lounge on like this, because not everyone has me in their house. And I'm made of velour, which is like not for everybody. But the people who love me really love me. Yeah, love that. Yeah. And I'm comfortable when I'm not like that comfortable. Like you would probably rather sit in something else. And that's probably pretty good. Okay, next question. So this is complicated, but if you take away like all of the possible political, social negatives about a decade, and you're just left with like fashion, culture, art, design, music, movies, what decade would you want to be born in? 50s. Okay, why?
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, is that your favorite decade?
I love their music.
Okay, yep.
Wasn't it the 50s where Leave It to Beaver was filmed in? Wasn't it set in the 50s? Yeah, so I like I like that they could just send their kids and they ran around and they went to the soda fountain shop and June cooked the food and dressed up and wore a pearl necklace and what was his name?
Ward.
Thank you. And then you have this, Eddie. Amber and I are not touching each other. We're not rubbing each other's legs. Cody has joined us and he is between the desk and between Amber's legs and trying to get to Mama. And so he is like right here. So she's rubbing and I'm rubbing and I'm looking at the screen and we kind of look like we're petting on each other, but he did come in here to he'd really like one of those buntinis. I think that's the deal. That he's trying to get.
I didn't notice.
If I could go back, if I couldn't pick 1950, I would want Little House on the Prairie times.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But I don't know. Life was way too hard.
No, Mom. I'm just saying, like fashion, music.
Well,
clothes.
I liked it because if you were sick, Doc Baker fixed you for a chicken.
Absolutely. The simplicity.
You didn't have to have money. You just needed to bake some pies.
No, absolutely.
Reverend Olden. Reverend Olden would come to dinner. They just, somebody was going to help Mom have that baby if she needed it. Okay, I take my answer back. I'm taking the 50s out. Yep, I'm going to Little House on the Prairie.
Absolutely.
But your town sounds that way kind of anyway, Amber.
What?
Your little town sort of sounds that way.
You're right.
All right, Mom, what's your pick? Born or travel to any decade?
I think I have such an affinity for a little wacky dance music and some real good beats. So I'm gonna have to pick the 70s. So the wedge shoe, the bell bottoms, the low rise jeans, the sparkle.
ABBA.
I was a disco queen throughout my high school. We went to the teen night at the disco. They would have us on Sunday nights and we would dance, and the music and the hustle and the era. Yeah, that to me, I have just fond memories. I know some people think of the 70s as just such a, weird time, but
the question is all about like the aesthetic of the decade, right? Like that's what we're asking about. We're not talking about what was happening in the world at that time. We're talking about the fashion and the music. And so if that's what's calling to you, answer the call.
For sure, because I still love all the colors, right? And that's what it was all about. It was all about the colors. And
I was a teenager in the 70s.
yes, yeah.
So was I.
Yep.
I also got married in the 70s too.
No, I didn't do that. That was a much later. Yeah, into the 80s, but
Oh.
in the 90s.
And cars were huge and luxurious.
You don't get to bring that up, Miss Youngin.
On your
Miss
birthday.
Youngin over here.
I was a teenager in the 2000s.
Yeah, touche. There you get to go. Okay, let's have a treat.
Okay.
Did anybody else bring a treat to the party? Does anybody have a little something to eat? What should we try? Okay.
Oh wow, nice treats, guys. Those look good.
Ooh, look at that
just
cupcake.
I just brought alcohol.
Got a drink.
Will you guys, Linda?
This is red velvet buntini. So it's like a little cupcake, but it does have a hole in the middle. And then we have marble and vanilla, white chocolate raspberry, funfetti,
I want funfetti.
chocolate, and
Funfetti.
carrot cake.
I think I want carrot.
I think you should have funfetti.
Amber got funfetti.
I'll have all the way.
Chocolate, because that's all I talk about wanting, but I would eat any of these flavors, and I probably will have a bite out of each one later.
Pick each one.
Oh yeah, they're really good.
They're really good.
Really good. Yeah, it's really good. Like if you
can you talk while we chew.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get. Okay.
They're super fun. They sell. It's called Nothing Bundt Cakes.
Oh yeah, those are good. They've got one of those in our town.
Yeah, we've got one too.
They're expanding, but they'll do big bundt cakes, like personal size, but then they also do like kind of cupcake bundt cakes, and that's what we got. And they have all sorts of different flavors, and they're really good. We had them at my graduation party because they're like instead of having to cut cake for everybody, you kind of get the allure of a cupcake, but the frosting isn't like a cupcake frosting.
Easier to eat.
Yeah. They're just, and they come in these like little cups that kind of look like bun pans, which are fun. There are two fun things. The only thing I got one of is vanilla and marble, because marble we already have in the vanilla and the chocolate, and the vanilla is for dad.
Oh.
It's really, they're really good. They're moist, and then I think they all just have like kind of a little bit of vanilla frosting on top. Cheese, I think. Yeah, cream cheese frosting, but they're all just like a little. They're just like, I would say they're better than a typical like grocery store birthday cake. They're closer to like bakery quality. They are. So if you do an event, they're like a birthday, they're fun for that because they're good.
Yeah,
and my mom,
they make a cherry. They make a cherry almond one, but it's just the bottom.
I just bought a cake. We had an event thing that I was in charge of buying the cake for, and I wanted to, our RJ's football coach won his 75th win, and I ordered a huge cake for all these people, and they wrote on it, I said, I just wanted to say congratulations, coach, and then I wanted there to be a great big 75 wins, and congratulations was spelled wrong.
No.
It's fine. I didn't say anything because A, I hate it when people correct me because it's rude, and what was I going to do? At that point, I'm on my way to the thing. But B, that's hysterical.
Did they spell it with a D?
Yeah. And
as a high school English teacher, I know exactly how it was.
They said congratulations, and I was okay. That's fair. Like
they think it's a grad.
Yeah. Yep. But I just peeled off the D, the thing on the icing. I cut it and peeled off and crossed the top of the D. And I don't know if anybody noticed it or not, but as we all should, all the football players were just going to eat it, right? Like, so it didn't matter. But it was funny because they spelled it wrong, and I was like, oh, I paid full price for that. Okay.
Oh, I'm having the best day ever.
Corey, I'm gonna toast you in my own knit mug.
Oh, perfect. I'm holding up.
I'll make a toast.
On the way home, I told you all I'd stop and get a fountain pop. So we stopped on our way into Victoria, and I ran and got a fountain pop so I could have like my big treat.
Can Cody lick this? He's drooling.
What?
No, he's not drooling.
Cori and all our Virginia Beach yarn getaway friends, I made crack brownies today, and I wish you had some.
Melanie, hi, Melanie. I'm sorry I didn't see you here. I've tried to say hi to everybody.
Oh, I was late coming in. I've had internet issues today, but happy birthday. Hope you have a great day.
Yep. You want more? Outer Banks.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay, I have the next question. Okay. If you could ask your pet one question and they had to answer verbally in English, what question would you want to ask? Do you really love me? Because Audrey, I think she loves me, sure, but I'm just a lot for her because you know she's got anxiety issues because she was in the pound for so long. And so I get she wags her tail and she comes near me, but then by the time my love is gone for her, she's leaned back and she's kind of giving me the side eye, and so I'm not sure if she tolerates me or if she really loves me. Also, I just want to hear what her voice sounds like. Absolutely. Mom, what are you asking Cody?
I think I would like to know if he likes his dog food and his treats that we give him. Like, because he will also eat bunny poo and dog poo in the backyard, right? Sure. So like, he doesn't seem to have a palate that needs, but I buy lots of different treats. I buy cranberry apple this time, and then I beef whatever this time, and no grain that time, and then he just eats them all. And I would just like to know, could I just buy like the biscuit and it wouldn't matter? Like, is it different? Right, like, is it like chocolate cake? It doesn't matter, Mom? Or
I think Falcor definitely has opinions. He will leave a treat, and you can tell with him, like you hand him the treat and he eats it right away, or he waits until another dog is near and then he eats it. So I think those are the treats that he could do without, and the one that he gobbles up whole are the ones that he really likes. But like you said, he also eats poop.
Yeah, I'd want to ask, why do you eat poop? That would be, because my dogs did that too.
Cody does, because he doesn't know what flavor it's going to be, if it's going to be cranberry or if it's going to be.
That's true. That's true. For sure. Okay, what would you ask him? Okay, what would you ask her? Her horse. What would you like to know? Or from Cody?
Here's this.
I don't know if I have like a question.
I know.
And I would want to explain object permanence to him, just because I feel like it would make his life easier.
Okay, all right.
If I could like explain to him that when the toy goes behind my back, it still exists, I feel like that would just like change his life, totally blow up his world. And so I feel like he could get away with so much more mischief, because a lot of times when we don't want him to have something, we just like put it away and he can't see it, and then he's convinced that it's gone. So I probably would explain that to him, because I feel like that would just be a mind-blowing conversation for him. Right.
Yes,
Right.
old man. Yes, you old man. He's really loving all of the love we're giving him. I'm not going to keep everybody much longer. Does anyone have a question or a comment that they felt like they wanted to make when they got, but they don't want to, they're a little shy to share it, or a little worried or whatever? If you want to say, have something that you need to, that you wanted to say, I want to give the introverts or the people who might not want to.
That's what we do.
I wanted to show you your shawl, Cori.
Your eye, Mom.
Oh, that's pretty.
There's your shawl, Cori.
Oh, so pretty, Cheryl. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'll go get one.
And in Cori's colors, orange.
Okay, just a second. We can't go.
What shawl is that?
This is the one I tested for. This is one of Cori's tests.
Okay.
Yeah, coming out in a week.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I haven't seen it yet.
No.
Yep. I started off with a natural color, and I knew I had to wash and block it, so I colored it orange for Cori.
Aw.
Oh, that's pretty.
This is the new pattern that
Is
came
that
out.
the poncho?
And I
Oh,
said to the girls, I said, oh, you guys, I got to show the poncho because this was a last minute collaboration with Knit Circus. They reached out to me and said, hey, would you ever want to design with our yarn? And I said, well, sure, but I'm kind of booked. Like I have taken a lot of collaboration spots. I've asked people for yarn and they've asked me to do designs I don't have a lot of. And they said, oh, we would love to have something come out in the spring. And I was like, oh, it's like February. And but I had this poncho that I designed and knit when I lived in Virginia, and I wore it all the time, but I never wrote it as a pattern. And so I said, I already have a pattern that is kind of done that I could write up, and if I could get test knitters to knit it fast enough. And so my test knitters did knit it super fast. Especially Stacy, I know she was driving in her car, but Stacy knit this sample because I was knitting the shawl that Cheryl and Debbie both showed that is coming out with Toad Hollow yarns next week. Yeah, I'll show it on the podcast on Monday, I think, and then they're going to have it as a new shawl design for Maryland Sheep and Wool. And so if you were not on my newsletter list and you're not on Instagram, you did not see this come out this morning, but it is a speckled all over kind of white cream yarn with tons of little colors in it. And then it's just a 2-row repeat. So you start down here and you knit a piece straight up and over. All it is, same thing. And then you go over here and you knit a piece straight up and over this way. And then you just seam those two together, or you can pick up and 3 needle bind off. And then what you get is just this perfect thing to throw on. Oh, I have my crown. I have a crown on my head.
Which of their yarn bases is that?
This is DK. They're Divine DK. And they have tons of speckles. And it's 3 sizes. So it's small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, 3X. But, you know, it's really just a big blanket, right? Like it just goes over your shoulders.
Yeah, I tried this one on. This is the large, extra large, right? And I tried it on, and I am much bigger than Cori. Same height, just there's more to me. And I would probably, I don't know, I'm self-conscious and everything, but this I really liked. And
yeah, you were surprised. You were like,
I couldn't believe how well it fits. So I
Amber, all that much more to love.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know that I would have thought that that one would fit me. I think I would have thought that I would have had to go 2X, 3X.
Yeah,
and I think
well,
that
there's lots of ease in it when you know, like I'm holding my hands
to drape.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of it going down, right now it's covering Cori's backside and her entire belly. And with me, it didn't, but it was okay. Well, here, take it off. I'll put it on. And I was really surprised because
nope, you're good. Okay.
My width diameter is much bigger. And you're gonna have to.
But you guys carry your weight differently too.
Completely different.
So it's about how the cut works, right? Like
yeah, keep it down the front or the back. I mean, so see, it still fits me great from side to side, and it just hits me a little lower than it hits her. And so I really, this is the I would knit. It's pretty cool.
Size for you.
And it's in my head, I thought poncho, and then I would have knitted 2X, 3X, and it would have been so much. And this one hits me just perfect right here in the elbow. There's not going to be a whole lot of extra. I know I was
because we're
super
short. We're shorter from here to here too.
Yeah.
And so you can make the difference in the length as you're knitting it. You can just make your piece shorter, and then you can make this piece this piece longer, and it would hang down further. So you can try it on.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a thing in the pattern that says clip these two together without binding off and decide if it's covering the
area
parts in the front and the parts in the back that you want covered. If you're going to wear it with something like that, or if you want it to hit you more higher, like at your underbust, so that you can see your waist, right? From if you go in at the waist. So it is one of my favorite things to take out in the spring, because no matter what color I have on, I could put the prototype on because it was white with black and a bunch of different colors in it.
It's what I consider a slipper pattern, where if you just saw it laying out,
Like when I took it out of the package, because Stacy knit it and then she shipped it to Cori, I was just like, huh, you know, because I hadn't seen it at all. And then I put it on and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. And I put it on while I was talking to Cori, and she's like,
it
yeah.
does look like the same thing the whole way,
It just,
right?
it's a sleeper pattern. I feel like until you have done it and you're wearing it, it's amazing once it's on. And I would not have probably thought I want to knit this particular body of poncho, but then once I put it on, it's not poncho. It's not 1970s poncho that you only have this much of your hand sticking out. This whole arm is free. This one is free from the elbow down. Yeah, no, I love it. Absolutely love it.
So it's on sale, and that's the only reason I bring it up. It's on sale. If you use the code happy birthday, all one word, all caps, happy birthday on Ravelry, you get $5 off the pattern all week. So it's $2. So if at any point you're thinking, oh, maybe I would make that sometime. And partly I did that because I want the pattern to do really well. So people knit some up the Knit Circus yarns, because it's my first collaboration with them.
Right?
Yep. And I don't want them to be like, well, that was a bomb, right? She designed a pattern and nobody bought our yarn, because then that's kind of, you feel.
But this is also the sort of thing you could knit for someone else, because when you're knitting a top garment for someone, it's hard to guess sizes.
Yeah.
But with this, you could guess sizes, because it could be a little oversized or a little undersized and still work.
I think Stacy knitted in like 5 days.
Well, she's on. Stacy? She's probably at the orthodontist, guys.
Yeah, she's
Right.
Nope, she's there. There she's got a restaurant.
How long did it take you, Stace?
Probably 5 days.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. Anyway, but all my patterns are on sale. I just said that wrong. I just said the coupon code wrong. I said it backwards. The coupon code for the poncho is Pippin, Pippin. That's the name of the poncho. You get $5 off. My happy birthday coupon code gets you 60% off for my 60th birthday for any pattern I've ever written. So you can go find any pattern that you ever thought, oh, I was always going to buy that and I never did.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be in the chat, guys.
Birthday.
Kylie's gonna write those in the chat. So I see a couple people trying to write it down.
Is 60% off happy birthday for any patterns. And then Pippin, the Pippin poncho. Yep, all caps. Sorry. Pippin poncho, $5 off.
Cori.
Actually is a little tiny bit more than 60%. You get a little bit more of a discount, which so that's kind of, but I typed them both in and I was like, well, I'm just going to leave it that way. So I just wanted to share.
Hey, Cori, it's Angela. I just want to wish you a happy birthday. I see my puppy is chewing up the rug at the front door, so I'm going to need to go.
Well, give that little puppy a great big hug for us. Bye, Angela.
We might end up with a placemat instead of the rug, but that's okay. I hope you have a great birthday.
I'm already having a great birthday. You're all here for one thing.
Bye-bye.
Yes, that's it, Kylie. Very good. Pippin poncho, which came out of the 1970s when I went to the musical Pippin on Broadway with my gymnastics team. And I danced in a dance troupe that danced to Pippin music. Magic to Do was the name of our dance troupe, and Magic to Do is a song from Pippin, and a poncho, it seemed like it from the 70s. Yeah, so I felt like that was apropos for all the things that, but the shawl that's coming out next week with Toad Hollow features my daughter in the romance copy, a story about my daughter and her eating lunch when she was in elementary school with a handicapped child. And the poncho is called I Will Sit With You. And it's my ode to being welcoming to people and asking people to sit with you, to be with you when they're alone, or they are at a knitting event or retreat, or sitting at a table by themselves eating, that we would reach out to those people. And so the poncho is called I Will Sit With You. It is part of the Alice in Wonderland collection that Toad Hollow is doing this year. And rightly or wrongly, there's a quote that is misattributed apparently to the March Hare that says, "When you are sitting in the dark, I will sit with you." And that quote is all over the internet, but apparently it was never in the Alice in Wonderland book. So I still use the quote as part of the actual pattern, but the pattern will come out next week, and that's the one that those two both knit, test knit for me. And we're just finishing up. Amber took the pictures for the Pippin poncho. Amber took the pictures for the I Will Sit With You poncho. Yep, she did them all for me because we haven't been together. And she, you know what she did this morning? She wished me a happy birthday via text message. And she's in my town. She's like, "I hope you have the most amazing day ever." And yesterday, she was like, "When are your parents going home?" And like, she was on her way here, the little stinker.
That's the
She's
best friend
sneaky.
ever.
No idea that was coming my way.
Well, otherwise I look like a jerk if I had to wish you a happy birthday. Like, I know I was coming at 11, but you're like she wished me happy birthday this morning. Yeah.
So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. I hope you enjoyed having a little treat with us. I feel your love on my podcast and in my comments, and I want you all to know that I don't see you on my screens like I'm seeing today. So this to me is, I feel like I'm talking to people as opposed to just talking to myself. And you have been so welcoming to me and so kind in my comments and saying, that I make you laugh and that my stories are funny. And that is all a girl can ask for when she's trying to be funny and to make people laugh on a regular basis. So I want to thank these two lovelies, because this introvert was like, "I don't know that I want to be on Zoom, Mom." And this extrovert, who I love with all my heart, made my day. And so the fact that we made it home in time to be on here at 3 and I could just say hi to you guys just is great. Oh, look, there are just so many people here. It's awesome. I am going to record this. I am recording this, and then I'm going to post it so that people who couldn't make it at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I have a number. Oh, look at Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Well, I'm not seeing everybody.
Yes, occasionally I click to the second slide. And then my mom notices a person on that slide and she's like, "Oh my gosh." And I'm like, "They've been here the whole time."
No.
Cori, I put on orange just for you.
Thanks, Georgia. Georgia, I love that. I love that. Tracy's
Cori, I wanted to tell you, I got the sweetest note from your mother-in-law. I
Oh,
wrote to her and she sent me back with like little brochure of some places in Minnesota. It was so sweet. She is really cute.
She's a dear. We went down and saw her last Sunday, and we were able to take her out, and it worked out. But she's been really lonesome. She cried a couple times while we were out with her.
Oh.
She just got so emotional, right? And she just broke down, and she was happy, but it broke my heart to see how it was just so moving for her in the moment to have us there and hugging her, and she didn't want to let go. And she said, where can we go now to visit? And I said, there is nowhere to go to visit. Like, you can't. It's Sunday afternoon, but people aren't going anywhere. There aren't a lot of places open, and this is it. This is what you get. You just kind of get us, and so I think she thought the world maybe was being a little more active. She knew we weren't, but it's hard when you're, locked in a room and you just don't know what's going on out there. So thank you. That's nice, Marianne. All right, we're going to say goodbye. I love you all. We'll see you next Monday on the podcast.
Happy
Thanks
birthday.
so much.
Party on.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Birthday.
Happy
birthday.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey.
Thanks. I know I just turned 40.
Birthday.
I turned 40.
Happy birthday from Edina.
Oh, hi.
Have a great day.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Cori. Happy birthday.